Hey everyone, happy Friday the 13th. This is aaaand, one of your hosts from Coming of Age. It's finally that day again to watch all your friends get another shitty-ass tattoo with little to no artistic integrity. Can't wait, beautiful, love it. But we thought it'd be fun to do something a little special today. We have some old episodes that we kind of did a pilot season, just kind of practicing. We didn't know we were practicing, but we got better mics eventually and we just kind of started over. But we've got some episodes that we're just going to be releasing on special dates like this. And this is a good occasion because our first episode that we ever recorded is Castle Freak. It's this fucking hilarious movie and it's a real treat, and we'll talk about it a little more, obviously, in the episode. A lot more, actually. But the music's different. It's just a different format. It's not completely... You'll be fine. You'll follow. It's very similar. But enjoy it. Have a good time. Here you go. Castle Freak.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Coming of Age.
Coming of Age. It's a brand new podcast brought to you from two mid-20s guys just getting off their asses, trying to do something with their lives, and we decided to sit them right back down and just watch a movie.
I don't know if we ever really even got off our asses.
No, we're sitting down right now as well.
It's the best job.
And we're just... yeah, unpaid so far. First episode. We're not expecting anything big.
Just wanted to share our love for the cinema and some our unique perspectives on some of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get to some good ones.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll have some good ones in there. We're just trying to... I don't know. I don't want to say a bunch of fucking times on this podcast, so let's just keep moving forward. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about, because we just fucking watched it, Castle Freak, for all you horror fans out there.
Castle Freak. H.P. Lovecraft and Stuart Gordon get back together.
The master.
Oh my god. If you've ever seen movies like... Re-Animator is the big one.
Or From Beyond.
From Beyond is a little tough to get through. I honestly had a fantastic time the first time. Second time was cool, but man, they mentioned the pineal gland.
Oh, quite a bit. It's a lot of that movie, yeah. It's a lot of that movie.
Yeah, and unlike Re-Animator, where the gore is interesting to look at and cool, and you're like, oh man, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is just kind of you're just there's penises popping out of people's foreheads.
Oh yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. So
you're just oh.
Why?
I don't want to see that again. And it happens
Oh, it had to happen a dozen times.
Yeah, and it's 20 times in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's
less, who knows? I don't know, it's crazy.
It's the last half hour. He grows the penis out of his head, and then the monster has a penis out of his head, and they're just constantly
things get very sexual.
Yeah. Jeffrey Combs starts eating people's eyeballs out of their heads with a penis growing out of his. It's a wonderful movie if you haven't watched it.
Yeah. There's more of these Jeffrey Combs, Stuart Gordon films.
There's some Jeffrey Combs just with other people too.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. This is a little thing that happened, for I don't know how many years. Maybe there's ones that I don't know about. There's definitely ones that I haven't seen.
Yeah. Other Stuart Gordon films I've seen is Dagon, which was probably the first Stuart Gordon film I watched. And that's, from what I remember, an interesting experience as well. It feels like a made-for-TV movie with fish people and H.P. Lovecraft galore and lore.
Is Jeffrey Combs in that one?
He might be. That's a weird movie. That's a strange film. Who showed me that?
Abade.
Yeah, that little vagrant that lived in my house for 8 months.
Hi, Abade, if you're listening. Hello.
Hello, Abade.
Good to cross your path again.
He might actually listen to this. I mean, he loves H.P. Lovecraft and Castle Freak also.
And he loves you. So
Apparently.
We'll seek you out.
Castle Freak is also an H.P. Lovecraft film. Kind of. Loosely based on The Outsider, I believe.
Yeah,
which I've never read.
Do not know anything about it. Who know? Like, it has to be loosely based. Like, there's no way this is a. You cannot read this and it be.
Oh yeah, it'd be like, oh, that was a good book. I don't know how you would. Well, from what I understand, from what I've read in my research after watching this masterpiece, was that Stuart Gordon went into producer Charles Band's office, and there was a poster on the wall with like this like freakish monster standing in front of a castle. And Stuart Gordon was like, "What is that?" And Charles Band was like, "Oh, it's a castle freak." And Stuart Gordon's like what? And then wanted to make that into a film. So like I guess this was like an imaginary poster. Literally, that's
the name. And he was just like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how that conversation went down, but all I know is supposedly Charles Band told him you can use the idea as long as it contains a castle and a freak. And that's where this movie originated.
I want to see this poster.
I do too. I don't know what it is.
It's just like some, I don't know, like some sci-fi art.
Horror art, speculative.
Yeah,
like,
just
from I don't know what. I mean, because I'm believing The Outsider, like inclusion to this is because Stuart Gordon loved H.P. Lovecraft, and he had to include something into a movie that was literally spawned out of seeing a picture of a castle and a picture of a freak and going, I'm going to make a film.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, freaks are outcasts.
Yeah.
Perfect. I can use that word.
I think the main similarities in The Outsider, for what I read, is that that book has a guy. It's like a guy who lives in a castle, and he's just a recluse, and he's really fucking ugly, and he goes out into the world and then is rejected because he's so like horrible to look at, and then that's where that movie goes off. But there is no like.
And then he
family
becomes a rapist and
see, I don't
starts
know
eating girls.
I don't know about that. I think he might just kill people. I think he might be just like a dude who's not attractive.
Yeah, and takes it out on people.
Yeah. After being scorned from the earth. But I don't know. It could be. It's H.P. Lovecraft, so I'm sure there's some kind of gothic, celestial, cosmic horror involved. But like,
sure of it.
I'm sure, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the book.
Yeah, no, it's not that time. We're not gonna, that's not the book you're reaching for these days, huh?
No.
Don't want to, put some limits around the brain.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day. H.P. Lovecraft, I would like to read sometime. Like something.
Yeah, for sure. For all we know, The Outsider is an amazing book.
It could be a great book.
Who fucking knows?
I mean, he's a pretty good author. The people who adapt his books into films,
in the 80s,
in the mid 90s, yeah. I don't know why they're like being made by people who have like a basic level of skill with the camera. They're not as bad as some movies, I guess.
I think they're very entertaining.
That's their redeeming factor.
Some of them have lulls, like from behind,
is kind of
pineal gland, but for the most part, you're not sad that you watched From Beyond.
I will say I didn't think it was a waste of my time.
Yeah.
When I was watching it.
Afterwards, though.
Afterwards, No, I'm kidding. I liked From Beyond for the one time I saw it, but Castle Freak I liked a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. I was very pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting a lot, but there were some very fun times within the film.
Well, I guess maybe we should get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's
start with the beginning of that movie, which what I want to say
Yes,
about
exactly
all of these films,
yes.
there are no title sequences at the beginning. You click play and the movie just starts.
Well, they do the title sequence after a short sequence, but the thing is, there's no fade in or
There's
anything.
nothing. It's literally hard cut.
You press play, boom, the movie starts. The first image, and it's just like, oh shit! Like I have to get ready. Okay, we're in this.
Yeah. It's been what, 3 of these, like in relative like quick order that we've been watching these, and it still takes me like off guard. Yeah. Like I'm not expecting.
You forget about it, because of all the other ridiculous shit that has happened in the film. By the end, you're not thinking about the very first shot, but it creeps in on you later, and you're like, oh yeah,
it just started.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Well, this movie just starts with what appears to be, I think, is a hag or like an old. I think later on you get to know her as a duchess, but she looks horrible, and
the duchess has some problems, and I don't think she deserves the title as duchess.
I don't know. Like they don't really explain that in the movie. I guess she's like family royalty, but like
she looks like a witch.
Yeah, they made her look like as bad as they could. What is she doing? Is it just start with her like in the kitchen with making the food, or is she like?
I believe so. I believe it happens so fast.
Yeah,
you know?
I was like,
okay, so they're in the kitchen. Whatever, it doesn't matter if they did something before.
Whatever happened before that, if there was anything, it wasn't important. So
the movie has started. She's in the kitchen. She's with her little orange kitty cat. There's some fucking old ass bread and old little white, just like crusty sausage sitting on a cutting board.
So gross. I didn't even know. Okay, honestly, I didn't even know it was a sausage the first time we were watching it. I was, what the hell is she? Like, what kind of meat is that?
Yeah, it was very weird.
It's the question I was asking myself.
It was strange, like to just have like an encased like sausage right there, just laying out.
I think the point of it was it wasn't supposed to look appetizing, and they made it. They did a good job. At first, it looks like a stone, and then it looks like this weird meaty, like red purple color. I don't know. It was like just not appetizing.
So she cuts into that. She cuts 2 pieces, 2 little pepperones of sausage off. And then she goes to the bread and like
the biggest
has
loaf of
to
bread
like fucking use her like might to get into that bread and cut off a single.
It looked like the oldest, stalest, most like it was a boulder of a bread, of a piece of bread. I don't know what it was. And she takes a knife, and it's a solid, I don't know, 20 seconds.
No, it is not 20 seconds
of her going through.
I think you're exaggerating. I think it's, even like a 5-second cut is.
It's all one shot with her like cutting all that stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And she takes her
the whole shot takes very long.
And she cut it. Maybe that's where that like time lapse is coming from. But she cuts through that bread and puts it on the plate, and it's just 2 little patties of whatever kind of meat she was cutting up in this bread.
A meal fit for a duchess. Is what you think.
Yeah. And there's also the cat. Yes. The cat is worth mentioning now because it does come back later on in the film.
The cat is, it's in this. It's a character. We don't get a name, but it is a character.
Yeah, the cat. So
she starts walking, making her long haul
to wherever she's going.
Down into this castle. Going down so many stairs, lighting a candle, and then going outside where it looks pretty windy.
Obviously the middle of the day, too.
Exactly.
It was obviously the middle of the day.
It was the middle of the day.
They didn't even have a filter on the lens. It was just like daytime.
Yeah. And it makes sense. She's going down into the depths. She needs a candle still, but it was a little odd.
Yeah, walking through the
Probably could have made better choices with that in the movie. It's just daytime. Could have easily done that shot at night.
Yeah, easily.
Would have made it a little eerie, or you just wouldn't have noticed that it was daytime.
Yeah, I was confused. I wasn't sure if they were like, they were like shooting in the day, because it was one of those old movies. A lot of times will shoot during the day and they put the polarizer blue filter or whatever on the camera and the red filter or whatever and make it look dark, make it look like night.
Is this Origins of Castle Freak, or is it like, is he already the freak, you know? You're wondering who's going to be through that door.
Yeah.
Who's she feeding this to? Is kind of what you are thinking, that, because she's not eating it and she's traveling a long way. So she gets all the way, long section of the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a little too long.
Yeah, it's like comedically long.
But then, okay, so yeah, she finally gets down there and then pulls out a whip from the wall.
Pulls out a whip, yes.
Yeah.
Right when she gets down there. And she sets the
ground.
food down, and immediately the cat goes for the food, and she does not stop the cat at all.
No.
And you think, wait, what the fuck? Like, was that for the cat the whole time? That's what I thought. I was like, really? She's this bitch?
Yeah, that's also what I thought. Because the way the camera movement is done is that it makes you think that's a pretty important part of the movie. Like, you got to see the cat eat the like.
I mean, it does bring to, you know, it makes sense. It's terrible for Castle Freak is the main message. He's getting his food kind of nibbled on
by his cat.
By his cat before he even gets to touch it.
She proceeds to go into the cell where something in a humanoid is chained up. You don't really see its face or body or anything at the time. Just like you see a figure, and then she starts very like lazily.
Yeah, but the sound effects are there. The sound effects are there, and she's just like,
and screams. It's screaming really loud.
Very awkward screams, like probably what you would actually be making.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they ADR'd that, or if there was actually a guy down there screaming, and they were just recording the sound of it. Like,
all right, now scream, but you're a freak, okay? You're a freak. Really weird, freaky scream, man.
That's probably what. That's how
he did his research.
Oh man. The point of all of this is she beats him and then locks him back up and then slides the food under the door and then goes upstairs and has what appears to be a heart attack or...
Wait. He throws the plate back out the bottom door like... And it's like got some sass to it. It's it's like so quick and it's like... And you're just like, oh shit, Castle Freak.
Fucking Castle Freak.
Oh, Castle Freak's got a personality already. Like, he gets whipped and he's still got some sass. Like, it's pretty great.
Yeah, he I don't think he appreciated the way he was been treated.
Not at all.
Not at all. Judging by the way he throws it out of the little bottom slit in the door.
Fucking bitch. And then we jump
to her upstairs, and she's getting in bed. She drops the whip. She didn't pick up the whip or put it back downstairs. Rolls under the bed, and she dies.
Yeah, she fucking dies.
Yeah,
because she whipped Castle Freak too hard. She was exhausted, and her
is that what
heart,
it was?
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be. Like, she was like, or maybe from going up all those stairs as well. But that's what she was short of breath.
But I think
and she was like, and then she just died.
But
you have to assume that some activity within her body is what kind of caused that. Like,
what's throwing me for a loop is that it's implied, like from what happens in the rest of the movie and stuff, that she's been doing this for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And so you think that she's used to that climb downstairs and to the daily whipping of the Castle Freak.
Well, she probably doesn't eat very well.
I don't know. They didn't establish that. I guess if she's eating that fucking...
Well, how often does she feed Castle Freak?
That's a good question. That's a question they didn't answer in the film. What is she feeding Castle Freak? Because he really quickly gains a taste for...
Well, she doesn't give him much.
Other meat.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh my god! And how did he get so strong in that fucking cellar?
40 years. He's been supposedly locked in that cell since he was, what, 5?
His ribs are showing. You know,
He's having his face is clawed off.
yes. How did that happen? Where's the story there?
Yeah, that wasn't in the movie. He just is
happy
bloody.
about it. Okay, we don't need a
face.
backstory. All right, let's see this freak.
He's a freak.
Let's see him in action. You know, I want to see him present day. I don't want to see what the fuck happened in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a compliment to the production designer because they definitely made him look like a freak.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so it cuts after she dies, and we're now with Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah. And what you think is present day or something like that, but it
does not tell you how much longer, how much time has been in between the last 2 shots.
And you think it'll kind of be inferred a little bit later, but never. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this like the next day?
The next day, the next week, is it the next month?
But it's them moving into the castle.
They're driving up to it, and the daughter is in the back seat. What I thought was looking out the window and enjoying the scenery, but we very quickly find out that that's not the case because she's blind.
Yeah, she's wearing sunglasses, so you think, you can't see those eyes.
Yeah, you can't see the
blank stare ahead.
Which I think they did on purpose for other reasons than the story. I think the actress might have
I know where you're going. Yeah, for sure. She tried. She's got some moments in there where you go, man, that is terrible.
Yeah, you're obviously looking at something.
Not even that, just her acting, just her lines, how they're given, just like, oh.
True.
There was one in particular, I can't remember it, but geez Louise. It was bad.
Was she ever in anything after Castle Freak? I've never seen that actress before or since.
I don't know. She was, I can see her, like, she looks like, if she was a better actress,
yeah,
I can see her and stuff, you know?
Apparently her name in real life is Jessica Dollarhide.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I saw her name
that
in the credits. Yeah, Dollarhide is a crazy last name. Lots of Italian names in the credits as well.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I didn't realize the movie took place in Italy because I avoided reading anything about this movie before we watched it. And we were just sitting there after. Okay, so what happens after the old woman dies? You finally get your title sequence, your credit sequence, and that's when we noticed all the Italian names, which makes sense since they filmed it in Italy. We did not know that.
Yeah. But they just kind of borrowed Italy's people to make the movie. You know, they weren't gonna.
Yeah, why wouldn't you though?
Exactly. You know, there's small production. They're not gonna be like.
It's actually the lowest budget production Stuart Gordon ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had the least amount of money he ever worked with and ever had worked with since.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
like he didn't go, big and luxurious,
It actually pretty much takes place in that one castle.
Yeah, for sure.
For the most part, and
you can just have different castle-looking rooms.
Yeah, well, and they shot it in the real castle.
They shot it in the castle.
They shot in the real castle. And
I want to know what rooms didn't make it to the cut.
Me too. I mean, what sucks to me about this is they shot it in a real castle, but there was no real sense of geography in the castle.
Yeah.
It felt like you were looking at sets, but from what I was reading, they actually shot this in a real castle, and I wish they'd made use of the actual geography of the place.
Yeah. Maybe kind of round a corner, see, oh, now we're in this room from this room.
Some moving camera shots would have been nice. I don't remember if there were any moving camera shots, but I'm pretty sure everything was just static tripod shots, pans and zooms. Just lazy. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. That's not the film they're trying to make, though.
No.
I suppose not. I don't know. Maybe they're...
Maybe
they were and they failed.
Despite this, it's still entertaining. Oh, we haven't introduced the caretaker.
The caretaker. They're all kind of talking to these Italian people, introducing them to the castle and everything. And while they're moving in, and the caretaker, well, actually, they go up to her bedroom. What's her name? Barbara Crampton's, Susan's bedroom. They're kind of she's like, hey, can you prepare another room to the caretaker? And she's like, prepare another room. What do you mean? And she's like, for my husband.
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
this is actually a few minutes after they've moved, like they've been in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
They were having, I don't remember like what kind of conversations were had before this particular moment that Alan over here is describing, but I don't think any of them were that important. But there is a little bit of like exposition.
Oh, we're moving into a castle.
Yeah, and the caretaker's dropping knowledge about the history, the castle, I think, and telling
you're
them.
kind of just not paying attention.
Yeah, I don't remember any of it.
You can't exactly understand the woman.
Yeah, she is
completely
has an accent and is dropping in and out of Italian. No subtitles.
No subtitles at all for all the Italian, at least on what we rented.
Yeah, which was the official version of the film.
So they don't want you to know. I think it's fine. You get through. You know what's happening for sure. There's just little pieces that you just go.
Pretty often, like if the long Italian scenes are happening, like in the bar scene later on and stuff, they like immediately would explain in English what was just said. So you kind of have to go to conversation twice, once in Italian and then once in the English translation for the rest of the characters, which is...
Well, they mostly do it as well with another character who's presumed to not know Italian.
Mostly Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
90% of the time it's Jeffrey Combs. Which, I don't know, it's an interesting choice, writing-wise, to like...
Yeah, they do it fine. You know, it doesn't...
It pulls you out a little bit. You're like,
Yeah,
I remember trying to turn on captions at one point and then being like...
there are some conversations where you're like, this is a monologue? Like,
the
monologue in Italian? Like,
no subtext or subtitles, and
or subtext.
No subtext.
No context.
No text at all. And that pulled me out a little bit. Yeah, I'll be honest.
But what you get from her saying that she wants, her husband in another room, they're not sleeping together, Like, okay, what's going on there, You guys are going to move into a castle together and get your own rooms?
It's a little puzzling. And the way they shot it, Jeffrey Combs and the daughter are both standing in like right behind them as they're having this conversation. She's asking for this other room, and Jeffrey Combs just looks so dejected.
Like, he can hear her.
They're within earshot.
But I mean, if you're gonna sleep in another room, you might as well spit it out there immediately,
But the daughter's also standing there, and I guess she's privy to the marital problems that they're experiencing. But we, at this point in the film, don't know what it is. We will soon find out. I think when we were sitting there, Jordan said that she thought it was they were having an affair before the reveal. Like he had an affair.
Like he cheated on her.
Yeah, which we were like, oh, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That would
easy
be
go to,
yeah, that would be a reason for her to be upset with him. Mm-hmm. We might be skipping something here, but I'm just going to jump into the next part where eventually they have a conversation and you find out what happened, and they show you in a flashback, and it's Jeffrey Combs got drunk and picked up both of his children and got into a drunk driving car accident, killing his 5-year-old son and blinding his daughter, which is, gasp, he's the cause of her blindness, and he killed their son. And he was drunk while he was driving.
Yeah, and hilariously drunk. And it just looks like they're driving in the car. And right when Jeffrey Combs speaks, you're like, oh, he's drunk.
Yeah.
It's great. How he does it is so like...
He's drunk, he does drunk so well in this movie.
Drunk great, but like it's... he acts so over the top that it's like...
But when he's doing drunk, it's like... It's funny and like cheesy and slocky, but like it's believable. Like that's a drunk guy. Like that's what I hope Jeffrey Combs is actually like when he's wasted.
Very confident.
Yeah. Very.
Let's go home. Come on, kids.
What'd your mother say?
Great. Runs into a tree, kills his fucking kid, blinds his daughter.
And then we're back in the castle. And gasp, now we know why she's so mad at him. And I want to say, rightfully fucking so. The dude didn't even go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, that's not addressed.
That's the thing. You finally figure out that it's been 9 months ago, and you're like, 9 months? Like, he's already off the hook? Like
he's okay?
They, like, moved to another country together now? Oh, yeah. You know?
They're in Italy, and he seems to have no real remorse that he's the one who killed his son. He's just trying to like appease the wife. What's her character's name again? Susan. Yeah, he's just trying to like
schmooze her.
Really, he's not even trying to be like sensitive about it. He's like fuck you, kind of the whole like his whole attitude towards like why don't you love me?
His whole attitude is like he's lonely.
Yeah,
you're just like I'm lonely. Come on, like please, like.
Anytime she even like remotely shows like warmness to him, he tries to fuck her.
He steps over the line.
He's like just like so handsy.
Yeah, goes right for her neck. Very aggressive.
Multiple times.
You know, she gets him off there, smacks him. It's very acted out. I love it. I love it so much. It's like they like go through the motions. Like it's like
Yeah, it's my God, is that was such a like awkward exchange almost every time they were in a scene together. Like, oh man,
I love it though.
And I don't understand. Like, I guess at certain points he shows some like some sort of a guilty conscience, but not often.
Yeah. Well, immediately when he starts showing a guilty conscience, he like just goes to the bottle. And he's been sober for
9 months.
9 months.
Supposedly,
not very long. But
he didn't even make it a full year.
Yeah, not very long. I guess it's hard though. I wouldn't know. Haven't been full-blown alcoholic yet.
It killed my 5-year-old son in a drunk driving accident either, so.
Probably want to drink a little more after that.
I would think in any
but
sort
it was
of
the reason.
Yeah. In any sort of reality, though, I feel like you'd probably be in jail and wouldn't be allowed to drink ever again.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
But for somehow he escaped the reach of the law.
Not even mentioned ever. Nothing. It doesn't matter. Law comes back to try to get him though. But anyway, so even before you find out why the daughter is blind, she's wearing headphones and like kind of like listening to a Walkman, and it's Italian, and it's teaching her colors. And it's saying in Italian, like, the blanket is blue. And it's, it says it in Italian, and then she says it. And then it says something is green, something is yellow.
Yeah.
And she begins to cry during this.
I didn't put it together until after she started crying.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, why is she crying? She's like just trying to learn Italian, and she's sad about being blind or her family. But then you don't even realize that the Italian is saying colors that she cannot see. And she's crying.
So this is like, I'm going to
And it's like, it's weird because it's a hilarious scene, but it's very like, it's sad for sure, but the way they do it, it's just like, oh, it's great.
Well, okay, so they remind you so often that she's blind, like with one of
that's why it's funny.
Yeah, and with other characters just constantly reminding her she can't see in some of the shittiest ways you can remind someone that they're blind. Which I think is hilarious.
Like, I'm looking for something.
Yeah.
Like,
don't you shut up? I'm looking for something.
Yeah. Just like, cool, thanks, Dad.
Yes. Some of us are a little tally here. The amount of times the movie reminds you that the daughter is blind and cannot see.
Probably more than I caught.
Not reminds you, but reminds her. Where a character has to remind her that she can't see.
God damn it.
Oh, man. But that happens, and then she is, from what I remember, not inexplicably, but like, she's pretty much the only one that hears anything going on in the castle. Like, there's multiple times in the movie where people are screaming.
Here's some stuff a little later for sure.
A little bit.
He hears little boy, But anyway, before that...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Before that, Jeffrey Combs and his daughter, Rebecca, Jeffrey Combs. His name's John Riley in the film.
Not John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. Which probably would have been a great addition to the film.
Oh, I wish John C. Reilly.
Maybe if he was Castle Freak.
That's the movie I wish we'd watched.
That'd be a good, maybe a Tim and Eric bedtime story is based around that with John C. Reilly. But they are looking for jewels in a bedroom, which is the same bedroom
That the
Duchess died in. And she dropped her whip under the bed, which Jeffrey Combs finds immediately. And his daughter's like, "What is it?" And he's like, "Good." Like, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
He dismisses it like it's not important.
Yeah,
Which
I wouldn't say, to my blind daughter, it's a cat of nine tails. It's cool.
It's a whip used for sexual torture.
Yeah, could be.
It could be.
She didn't use it for that, or maybe she did. We didn't get the
You
origin.
got one little glimpse of the torture.
Yeah, that's just one day in Castle Freak's life. But anyway, so he's looking around for jewels. He keeps on looking. She's just sitting there, and she starts hearing scratching. And she's like, "Daddy, you hear that scratching?" And he's like, "Shut up! I'm looking for something." It's like, "I don't hear anything."
And then she sits there and actually asks again, "But Daddy, I hear scratching." And she says it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Which he reminds her, "I said I'm looking for something."
Yeah, and he's like looking at photographs.
Or I'm looking at something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that
better.
time.
I'm looking at something. That is like even worse way to put it. Like, I'm looking at something.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
The fact that he's also the one who blinded her makes it even worse, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I don't think the movie cared or was aware that they were doing that, but I wish they were.
If they were, it's pretty subtle.
It's funny.
It's subtle in its like just in your faceness. Like
Yeah.
the movie doesn't seem like it's
like a subtle movie.
It's like a callback or something.
No.
Like it doesn't seem like it's a theme that they're trying to like.
It feels like more like bad writing or lazy writing. Like, it feels like
they didn't try to do that.
Yeah, they didn't think about like the implications of that.
Definitely not. They were trying to write a great movie.
It's a masterpiece.
Did half good.
Yeah,
half is good enough.
We'll say the visual effects team they are successful.
Optic Nerve. I don't know exactly everything. I'm not a huge horror buff, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty big company.
I've heard of them before too.
Yeah.
We will have more information on them.
Maybe we don't fucking care that
Yeah,
much.
I'm sure that we're gonna watch another.
If we do more horror movies,
there's gonna be
probably.
another movie. I'm sure we'll watch another Stuart Gordon movie, and I have a feeling they probably did more than one of his special effects. So.
Yeah, I think they've done all of them.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll look them up one day. We'll talk about it, but not right now.
So what? She goes. The daughter hears scratching, and she kind of starts following it while he's still looking around.
Oh, yeah,
I don't remember exactly where she goes, but she goes to some door.
Just walks out into the next room, and then it's like there's weird things like clown things hanging from the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
They make like a point of her bumping into them, and it's like, ah. And
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, which I think is like setting up the fact that Castle Freak keeps sneaking up on her and just like briskly like bringing his hand near her neck.
Running into a hanging puppet if you're blind. I mean, you can't see it, so you don't know what it is.
It's
It's
on
just
the
a
floor.
lumpy.
Yeah,
like,
could be freaky to me.
yeah, it'd be very weird. Just something that hit your face.
Yeah.
Very plushy.
But directly after she hits this plushie doll, she opens the door and a cat runs out.
It's the cat.
It's the cat. It's the cat from earlier.
Yeah, it's the cat from earlier. Totally fine. So how much time has passed?
Obviously not long. Like it's only been enough time, like for them to find out and get there with all their shit, but not enough time for the cat to have starved to death.
Exactly. The cat has a supply of food that's not mentioned.
Yeah. It's still...
And it's fine.
And apparently it's been locked in a room.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but...
yeah, who the fuck did that? Well,
Yeah.
someone had to move the body.
True.
Of the Duchess.
But why would they just lock a cat in a room?
It's a big castle. they didn't, that cat.
And we're constantly
away.
being told how big that castle is.
Yeah. It's a big castle. They really don't even take a tour of it right when they get there. It's taking a while. It makes sense if it's a very big castle.
What did the police say later on? That there's 135 rooms in that castle, and I think we only saw 5 of them.
Yeah.
So, they kind of stay in the same little corner of this huge castle. But yeah, so the cat runs out, and she somehow immediately knows it's a cat, and starts going, "Kitty, where are you going? Come here, kitty." Follows it out and into another door, and then
it starts going downstairs, and she's like, "What are you doing, silly? Get back here!"
Chasing
go
this
the
cat.
other way. But she's continue to follow the cat.
Yeah.
Goes all the way down these stairs.
Slips on like a slope.
Just like slips down. Just on something.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. Trips, more so.
And then rolls what appears to be across flat ground for a pretty good distance.
She does roll. Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that. She's just rolling.
Yeah.
That's good. Hot dog style.
Yeah. And then scuffs up her knee.
Yeah. Oh, you fucking cat. She blames the cat. You silly cat. I'm hurt now.
Yeah. And follows the cat all the way up to Castle Freak's door. And obviously she can't see, but somehow knows the cat ran into that room despite it being closed. Can't see that there's an opening in the bottom, so would have no context that the cat's in there.
I don't think you're giving blind people enough credit.
She's recently blind. Let's just put it that she's 9 months now.
They didn't want for the scene to go her, discovering the hole and looking through it or something, that wasn't the point.
Yeah,
Cat goes under the door. Castle Freak's in there.
Yeah, but she's calling out for the cat, and the cat's not coming, and Castle Freak's waking up, and he's realizing someone's outside, and then she gives up on trying to get the cat, and
I think her dad's woken up earlier even.
Was he already awake?
I think he woke up earlier, but even before she goes down there, he breaks his thumb off.
No, that happens after.
That happens after?
That happens after. So I think she wakes him up, and then she leaves after not being able to get the cat.
The cat is in there, and he's free.
And he actually is in there, and then the cat comes to follow her, and he gets his front 2 paws out the door, and then almost gets out, and then Castle Freak grabs him by the tail and rips him back in.
Yeah, which is a real shot, and
it's a real cat being ripped back into a door.
It sucks if you like cats. So you like to see that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that cat was fine,
The real cat was, but the cat in the movie was one massive bite taken out of its middle section, covered in blood, gets thrown on the floor like a wet mop.
And not even like, he took one bite and the cat is immediately soaked in blood. Like all of the fur
cat,
is
basically.
Dark red.
Yeah.
It's a red, bloody
gash right in the middle.
Wet cat. And you're just like, wow.
Well, yeah. Castle Freak is eating a piece of the cat, I guess the piece he ripped off, and then decided not to eat the rest.
He doesn't need a lot of food. He apparently
he just needs a bite.
He's just a strong motherfucker.
Yeah, and then he proceeds to I think we cut upstairs, and they're like, "Where were you?" And they notice she's hurt, and they go through all that. But the next time we see Castle Freak, which is really soon, he breaks his thumb to get out of the handcuffs he's in, and which, as he's pushing them off of his hand, knocks his thumb off. Completely.
Yeah, he bites his thumb, I think, first, and then breaks it a little bit, and then it just oozes off of his hand when he's taking the handcuff off.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the effects in this movie, I must say, are not comedically gross. They're
actually good effects.
They're good effects, and they're pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it too much.
No, it was fucking gory.
It looks good, so.
Like I said, the visual effects in this movie are not subpar. They're good.
Yeah, they do a very good job on not going overboard, but doing some shit that.
I mean, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I would be impressed if I saw that in an actual good movie. It's the most believable thing about this film is the gore effect that they have.
If I saw Leonardo DiCaprio, same effect.
I'd probably be more upset. I'd be way more upset. He would sell that shit.
Oh, he'd sell it so good.
Shit.
God damn it. What was he in? That's like Castle Freak, the Man in the Iron Mask.
Oh my god. That fucking movie.
Oh my god.
I don't remember that movie having too much gore in it, but
No, not at all.
yeah, that movie's the most like it's the most star-ridden but
Are
unsuccessful.
the Three Musketeers in that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Malkovich.
Oh yeah. John Malkovich does not fit in.
No.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's a weird movie. It's a really weird movie.
Oh my god.
Maybe we'll have to do that one day. Like that might be a movie to do on
Yeah.
this.
I'd say so.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back to you with a full analysis of Man in the Iron Mask.
We'll have to find a good enough reason to do it, but maybe it's not very good, you know. But that's, I guess,
A good enough reason to do it is you have John Malkovich and Leonardo DiCaprio. And DiCaprio's
That's
playing
true.
two characters.
That's true. DiCaprio is good enough for, you know, we can talk about it for sure.
Sure. Yeah. Well, back to Castle Freak. Well, actually, before we go back to Castle Freak, I'm gonna get another beer.
Okay.
That'll be like a nice little us talking about Man in the Iron Mask. It's a good we can cut this.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Because I'm gonna have to take this off. It's gonna get gross sounding. I like this.
Yeah, this is great. Once you like get in the swing of things, it's easy.
Yeah, it's really easy.
I was like scared about that. I was like, oh, is this gonna be like?
It has its moments where you're like, oh god. Maybe we just like lean into the conversational aspect of it. Like,
Yeah.
Let's just feel like instead of like talking to people, let's just like try to talk to each other.
Yeah, exactly. It just takes like
Takes a
getting
little bit
used to, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. It'll get better the more we do this.
I think honestly that dead area where we just like stop for a little while, we should just like put a sound effect in there or something.
We'll fill that with something.
We like speed up and like, I'd be like and then just like back.
Yeah. Oh, welcome back. We'll play with it. Yeah, we'll cut this little section out where we're talking right now, and then we've already done 45 minutes. And then we'll
Should we say welcome back?
yeah, we'll do our fake advertisement.
Yeah.
If we can think of one. We're at 46 minutes, by the way. So
All right, let's go.
yeah, it's maybe it's an hour and a half long. Like hour and a half, 2 hours is a fun little number.
It doesn't matter how long it is, you know. Just go till you're done.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
And welcome back to Coming of Age.
All right, we're talking about Castle Freak, and Castle Freak is loose.
Yeah, he has escaped the dungeons. He broke through the door.
Very strong.
Yeah, the strongest.
Very strong man who eats 2 pepperonis and a piece of bread.
And one little strip of a cat.
Yep. Yes.
As Castle Freak has managed his escape, some things have been going on upstairs with the what is their last name?
Riley?
The Rileys.
Oh, the Rileys.
Those Wiley Rileys.
Better name for the film.
The Wiley Rileys. Well, let's see what happened after she left. The mother finds her and is overly so concerned about her well-being.
Like, oh my
Despite,
god, what are you doing like in our house? I mean, it's Castle. But
she's like shocked to see her.
She's like, you could have gotten hurt, and she goes, "Oh, I kind of did." Like, she like pulls up her dress and she's bleeding. And you're like, "Oh, what the?"
Yeah, and then Jeffrey Combs comes running up, going, "Oh my God, I couldn't find you. Where have you been?" And the mother immediately takes it out on him. Susan is immediately like, "You're a horrible father, John. You should have kept a better eye on her. This is your fault." And you kind of start to see how she, blames him for her son's death, and is blaming him now for anything that goes wrong, which is reasonable, I think.
Yeah.
Because he is responsible for their son's death, and he didn't get in trouble for it.
And he's responsible for her wandering off and not knowing where she's going as well.
Yeah, he was looking at something and told her to shut up.
Yeah, because he blinded her. Yeah. So he's the cause.
You're starting to see the picture we're painting about the character that is John Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's the most likable.
He's Jeffrey Combs. That's why.
Jeffrey Combs acting as this person. So that's
You like him because he's Jeffrey Combs.
Delight.
Yeah.
It's like if Jack Nicholson was this character, you'd just be like, I still like him.
Yeah. You still like Jack Torrance. You still like the guy he used in The Departed.
Yeah. Jack Torrance is a dick before he goes crazy. And you're like,
he's like John Riley a little bit. Except John Riley, like, people think he goes crazy, but he doesn't. And Jack Torrance actually goes crazy.
yes, he does.
Yeah, that's a way better movie. That's better than like
Castle Freak?
That's better than like any movie.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. I'll have to watch that one this month as well. It's the month of October. If you didn't know, it's October 2nd. And
Yes, we will be watching mini horror films. These will be coming out in the coming months, so you're not going to hear these in October. But the first 4 episodes are going to be horror movies.
yeah,
What do
you
you think?
can. I think when Halloween ends, you kind of want it back anyway. So
Yeah,
you want to stay in that. November is pretty good for
Yeah.
horror too.
yeah,
Residual horror.
yeah. You're watching the ones you couldn't make it to in the month of October. You know, the
But you're
terrible
like, man,
sequels.
Halloween was so fucking fun.
You still have your. It's like the equivalent of still
I
wearing
wish
your
I could dress up
costume.
again.
Yeah,
But I'll just watch these movies.
and rip it is and plan for next year. Yeah.
Yeah, which never happens.
No.
Not for me.
No, never.
A lot of people do very well.
Jordan.
I do.
gets really good
I
at
do
it.
all right in the last 3 days.
Yeah, I'm a month out, and this is the earliest I've started preparing for a costume. I've only got a couple of the pieces. But
I'll like get an idea, but then it's just boom, like
Yeah.
fucking time.
What are you doing for Halloween?
I think I'm going to be a baseball fury from the Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I am searching for. I think I have the hookup on a baseball uniform
Nice.
from someone.
Like the long sleeve one,
Doesn't necessarily have to be long sleeve. It could be short sleeve, and I could still wear like
the thing underneath. I think all of them have like the short sleeve with the like white.
Yeah,
like,
white
long
like
sleeve.
long sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't necessarily have to do that, but I think I
They
would.
have the roller skates, right?
No, they're just dressed up like baseball
remember,
players, and
yeah.
they have painted faces.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to pick which face, because I don't think I want to do the green, the main guy, green with like the big
Yeah. The big.
circle on his eye. But I really like there's a poster. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I look at the poster all the fucking time. And there's one with a red and white face, and he looks fucking great.
That'd be a good one.
I just love his look. It's awesome.
Nice.
And face paint is too much fun,
It's so much fun.
so I gotta do another one.
I'll probably do a face paint costume next year. Like,
What are you doing?
I'm gonna be Patrick Bateman.
Oh, how are you gonna do that?
I'm getting the suit put together from thrifting, and then I'm gonna get the raincoat.
Okay.
And then do this blood splatter on my face.
Have an axe?
and have an
Fake
axe.
axe, yeah.
Yeah.
A real axe at the bar.
I'm gonna get a rubber axe because the fucking plastic axes are garbage.
Yeah.
The spirit of Halloween.
If you hit anyone, like they break.
They're horrible. I want to hurt someone. I just don't want to like kill someone. I just want to have it weight to the prop. Like I don't want some like airy piece of garbage
Yeah.
that I'm gonna throw away afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I also the reason I want a good axe too is because I'm gonna do like a double costume. I'm gonna do Jack Torrance if I can find the jacket because I got everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just be like for the different
Halloween does
parties.
like kind of like go on a weekend. It's like on a Tuesday or something.
Oh, it's on a Tuesday, but
And
then
people-
Mosey's like
that earlier weekend, people are gonna be doing Halloween
Yeah.
every day.
and the week before that we're throwing our Halloween party.
Yes.
So
good.
yeah, so I'm gonna do one of those costumes then, the other one then. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Love Halloween.
it's the best.
Back to this fucking movie that we watched.
Yep.
Okay. So Castle Freak eventually
Yeah.
is roaming through the castle at night, sneaks into Rebecca's room,
Yeah.
and just being a super fucking creepy guy.
He like pulls her. Did he pull her comforter back? And
Yeah,
then tries to pull her
then-
sheet back.
Yeah, and then it's just kind of like touching her face a little bit with his weird hands and being really. HP Lovecrafty.
I guess.
There's a lot of weird sexual, like,
Stuff in his
it's just
work?
stuff, yeah, just weird, like, you're like, oh,
Yeah, I guess
that makes somebody horny.
The weird part is it probably does.
Oh, it absolutely does. But
Well,
he's
yeah.
being weird. She wakes up and is like, who's there? And he's just like standing there like, oh shit, like, oh, just kind of trying to be quiet. I can't remember exactly what happens if he makes a noise or what, but she
hears him and
She
gets
hears
He has
him.
the chains still.
Yeah,
from his, like,
yeah.
He's like got all the chains from when he was tied to the wall or whatever.
yeah, and she starts screaming. He runs out.
Well, she starts spinning around, like really frantically screaming. Like I'm pretty like he like touches her when she stands up and she starts spinning and he dips out and then
Yeah.
Jeffrey Combs immediately slides in.
Yeah, it's like they both went in and out of the door at the same time.
Like there's like maybe a second between the exiting of Castle Freak and the entering of John Riley.
It's Stuart Gordon's work. Finest work. All right when Castle Freak goes out that door, you come running in.
And we don't got any
What's wrong?
time.
What's wrong? What's wrong? What happened?
So he comes in and is, obviously, he's trying to be the overly concerned parent because I'm sure he's trying to save his image with his wife. I'm like, I was there first. I'm checking on her.
He might be concerned, you know.
I'm sure he's a little concerned. I honestly think he's a selfish prick. Like
Yeah.
that's my reading of the character, because of what happens later.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Which we will talk about.
He's a great man.
Yeah, yeah. And then the mom comes in from down the hall. Hers is probably the most realistic response time in the whole
Yeah,
situation.
for sure. Their bedrooms are not close.
And I forget exactly what happens, but they're...
The daughter's like, someone was here. And she's like, no one was here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what do you...
I heard something, and then they're like, it's a castle.
Yeah.
You'll hear things.
Castles make noises at night.
Yeah.
Which is what the police tell them the next day.
Literally, that's the line. Castles make noises at night.
Yeah. They're like, we're not going to search this whole fucking castle. This shit's huge. Like, why don't you do it?
That's the line. We're not going to search this castle. There's 135 rooms. I think that's what they say. So
Yeah.
then you learn how many rooms there are in this massive castle, and reminded once again that the castle is massive, and and then they're the worst police ever because they just completely disregard.
They don't help these fucking Americans.
They don't care.
Fuck you. If you heard a
Completely.
noise in your castle,
Yeah. I live in a hovel on the street.
yeah. Fuck you, man. But also we can't quite remember. When Castle Freak gets out. He gets to the top of the stairs. I think it's right when he gets out. He gets to the top of the stairs and starts looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah, and then he breaks the mirror after seeing how.
Yeah, that was right
repulsive.
before like the scene where he's sneaking into her room.
I don't know because I think
it is
Jeffrey
before.
Combs comes running immediately across the courtyard, and then he's like,
Yeah.
something broke it, and I think it's right after he breaks into a room, because when he breaks into a room, everyone's asleep.
Okay.
I honestly can't remember the exact timeline of events, but it's
Doesn't
not
quite matter.
important.
Yeah.
Which is the best part about this movie. All of these events basically lead to no one believing that there's anyone in the house.
Yeah.
And-
Warped wood. This
yeah,
wood.
yeah.
That's what he says about the mirror. The mirror broke.
It's warped.
Yeah, it just warped.
Not sure that's how it works.
Yeah.
But eventually, like after all of this stuff happens, Jeffrey Combs hears some stuff in the middle of the night, some of the chains, and he goes running down into the basement for the first time.
I think he hears the boy's voice, like crying.
Well, first we got to mention that he finds the cellar with the wine.
Yes, that was early on.
I think he finds that and then cuts his hand. Mm-hmm. We forgot to mention all that because I think that's important later. And that room is important later, the wine room that he's now aware of. And he's the alcoholic, and there's this huge temptation that he has that he, right below his feet. And,
Yeah, there's just lots of Italian wine down there.
Lots.
Yeah.
It's enough to keep you sufficiently drunk for most of a lifetime.
or if you just want money, that's
they're probably worth a lot of money. They look
can't
old.
imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure. So at some point, Jeffrey Combs hears is it a boy's voice?
I think it is, because I remember being like, all right, what the fuck? Like, now Castle Freak sounds like a little boy?
Yeah.
But it's just something kind of in his head.
I don't
It
remember.
like has symbolism, but like it's not very good.
Yeah.
Like it's
Whatever it is, it all culminates in Jeffrey Combs finding Giorgio's like tomb, basically.
Yeah.
Like his grave marking and like where he was buried in their catacomb dungeon area.
Yeah. Which
And-
Giorgio is the boy that the caretaker mentioned was
he's been
the Duchess's son.
He's been briefly mentioned. Like you said, the caretaker told them early on in the movie, the first time they meet
The
her.
maid, the caretaker, whatever the fuck she is.
I forget what she calls herself. I think she
Yeah.
refers to herself as a maid and a caretaker at certain points in the movie. But she says that the Duchess had a son, and that son died, and she's been living here by herself ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And she's angry at the father for abandoning the family or something along those lines. And that's early on, and you don't really get the name. I don't remember ever hearing the name Giorgio until after they find
Yeah, it
the
might have
tomb.
been though. It just sounded like Italian though.
Yeah, and I kind of
You're
tuned
like,
out.
Giorgio.
Giorgio. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Anyways, so he finds that, and there's a picture of Giorgio on the.
Like right beside, it's like one of those walls that has caskets inside of it in
Yeah.
different
They're like sealed in.
sealed in holes. And there's a picture right outside by his tombstone. And it looks a lot like John Riley's son that
Supposedly.
he killed. Yeah, supposedly. He, Castle Freak sneaks in right behind and is hiding behind a tomb as well.
Yeah, and he's spying on
And
John Riley.
Yeah.
Watching him, like, look at this grave, and freak out. Pretty basically, just like start going. I think he starts going JJ, and then
Yeah.
like he starts like crying really over the top, and and then
The wife shows up.
well, he cuts to later, like the next day or something, and he sees the wife, and he's like, I have to show you something.
Okay.
And then he brings her down there, and the picture's gone.
Yeah, it's like ripped off. Like
Yeah.
you can like see some of the pictures still there.
It's completely ripped off. And she's like, there's no picture here. Despite the fact that there was obviously
Yeah.
a picture there.
But still, he was like, it looked exactly like our son.
And then he starts saying JJ was here, and
Yeah.
the ghost of
It's
JJ
his
is
ghost,
here.
his
it's
spirit is here.
Yeah. And she's like, you're crazy. You
Yeah.
have to get over it. It's actually probably the most serious scene in the film, and it approaches the closest thing to like actual real drama.
You killed him. I wish it was you instead.
Yeah, she tells him she wishes he would have died.
And he says me too, but he just seems like he's going along with,
Yeah.
he doesn't seem sincere at all.
Because he hasn't showed really any remorse.
He's just
over
a
what happened.
mess.
Yeah, he's apparently just an alcoholic mess.
Yeah.
But after this, he gets upset, and and with this scene, he also tries to do misinterprets her like being gentle towards him as I want to fuck, and he tries to fuck her on the grave in the room. I remember saying something about like they're literally fucking, like he's trying to fuck her on the grave, like
Yeah.
aggressively, and she's like back the fuck off.
Pushes that motherfucker off there.
That's what spawns the like, I wish you had died thing, or like pushes her to say it. And then he leaves in anger, and I think the next time we see him, he's in town in a bar, wasted.
Yeah.
And
Well,
this-
you see him show up to the bar and order a drink, and then he says,
That's
"Keep
right.
him coming."
Yeah.
And then jump cut to him, kept on coming.
This is my favorite part of the whole
favorite
movie.
part of the movie. It's amazing. It's so great. Jeffrey Combs acting very fucking wasted. and hilariously, like, he's awesome.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best.
It's so good.
I can't describe it. I wish I could.
Yeah, I wish I could do an impersonation, but there's nothing to do. You just have to watch it.
Yeah, you're literally gonna have to watch this.
It's
worth it to see this sequence because he is so funny, and then
He's fantastic. The fucking this assumed hooker, looks like a sex worker, comes up to the bar as well, and
yeah, I guess
he's like, "Hey, you want a drink? Like, what are you drinking?" Orders her a drink.
She like kind of teases him silently.
Yeah, she's looking at him.
Yeah, and she's like rubbing on his back.
Yeah,
and
he's drunk. He's like, "All right, lady here.
yeah, like,
Does you want a drink? Anything you want. It's on me."
Yeah. He's got a
So-
glass of whiskey still, and so
Yeah.
the bartender pours her a drink, and he hilariously chugs his whiskey, asks the bartender for another. The bartender just holds open.
Says no dialogue at all.
Yeah, holds up a not quite empty bottle of Jack Daniels and starts pointing to it like I'm out of Jack Daniels.
Well,
I guess.
there's not a full shot.
But there's still a little bit left. But he's trying to. The point of it is him saying like, "There's
You've been drinking a lot."
and I'm out of Jack Daniels," which I don't believe that the bar would have run out. Like, that was the only bottle of Jack Daniels in the bar. There wasn't another.
It happens, Chase. You don't know who was there the day before or earlier that day.
I guess.
Maybe they
ran
another
out.
Jeffrey Combs. They're running wild in Italy, I hear.
Yeah.
You gotta visit. So he orders another, doesn't get it, and just kind of drunkenly moves a certain way and spills her drink on her. And the bartender's like, "What the fuck?" And he laughs. Jeffrey Combs doesn't laugh. That's awesome. Like, it's so great.
So great.
And he's like, "Oh, God, I'm so sorry, like, you need a drink, like, whatever," like, and she's immediately, like, totally cool.
And
Like,
she laughs too, I think.
she's cool about it. She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, man, this is a drunk guy.
Uh-huh.
Like, whatever, maybe he'll pay me money to have sex with him." Cops show up, says, "Bar's closed for you." He goes, "Oh,
The cop from earlier,
Yeah.
who told her that he would search the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cop says, "Bar's closed. Get going home." He gets the hooker to come along with him as well. Starts going home with her. They go.
Oh yeah, he tells her that he has a place they can get as many drinks as they want, all hours of the day or night, basically.
And it's a cellar.
It's that cellar again.
It's that cellar. They go down there.
They open a bottle of wine and he starts pouring it.
Pours it right on her head, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like,
actresses act.
Yeah. And he was like trying to like party or something, like pouring it in her mouth or something, and she wasn't ready or like even, wanted it
She
or
didn't
anything.
even have her mouth open.
Yeah, and he's just like, "All right, let's go, drink." Pours it on her, and she's like, "What the fuck?" Kind of like wipes it off, and then she's cool again. She's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
And then he starts just like sucking on her neck.
Yeah.
He starts like, "I'm sorry, let me clean that off," and then he's just sucking on her neck like he's tried to do to his wife, I think 3 or 4 times at this point.
Her shirt's off, her titties are out.
her
Then he
balls.
just goes down.
Jim wasn't really wearing a shirt.
Oh, true.
Yeah. He just had that
Her
weird
shirt,
linen tied up.
Her fucking turtleneck sweater is off now. And then he just goes straight down. He goes straight down
immediately
to eat her pussy because he loves. He loves.
He's a
it.
giving kind of guy. I
Yeah,
guess.
he's a giving man, and Jeffrey, you shouldn't always be so giving to
to prostitutes.
to prostitutes. It's probably not a great idea, but she was nice. Seemed like a very passionate moment between them.
Yeah, and then he finally culminates the sexual interaction with actual sex.
Also, I think again, Castle Freak has snuck in and is watching this.
He's watching, right.
Yes.
He's watching him eat her out, and that becomes important later.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, in one of the most disturbing scenes in the whole movie. But yeah, he's watching them have sex, peering through like a wine cart or something at the other end of the room. And they finish, and then Jeffrey Combs is immediately like, oh my God, what have I just done? I just murdered my son, blinded my daughter, moved my family to Italy, and then fucked a prostitute in the basement while the rest of my family sleeps upstairs.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine is running through his head as he tells her to leave. Oh, great guy.
He pays her though. Pays her some money.
Yeah.
There's a little weird exchange with that as well.
He hands her the money, and then she...
But you can't understand how it's Italian, so you don't know exactly what's going on. But it seems that she wants less money than he's given
like,
her.
I'm not sure if she was
seems
trying to...
a little confused.
Like, he gives her just a wad of cash, and then she, like, makes a gesture and says something in Italian that seems like she either wants to give him back some money, like he paid her too much, or that she's asking for more.
You think she wants more.
Yeah, that's
and
what it
then
seems.
he goes like, just keep it. And then she goes, and she smiles. Yeah. And you're like, oh, what? Why would she like try to give some back? It was that good. Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
It's that good. He was like, no, it's cool.
It's cool. All right. I'll keep it.
Yeah. I don't remember where the fuck he goes. She's like not even out.
She walks out of the room, and he like is like, I gotta go. And he stays down there, and he like keeps drinking or something, and then tells her to leave, and she walks out ahead of him, and then Castlefreak captures her.
Yes.
Before he sees her, and drags her into his cell, and then knocks her out, I think.
Yeah.
And then
she's unconscious.
And then Jeffrey Combs leaves the basement or whatever, isn't there anymore. And then we cut to the next day. And I think we both assumed that hooker died. Like,
yeah, the hooker was dead.
Yeah. We thought that he just killed her, like knocked her in the head. But that wasn't the case.
No.
But that information was not revealed yet. I think that it cuts to the next day, and then there's some kind of interactions between the Rileys, and then the police show up, and Susan answers the door, and Jeffrey Combs comes out behind her, and they're asking to talk to him about that hooker, because she's missing. And she didn't come home, and apparently she has a child, and we later find out that child is the son of the police officer, and that's why he knows she's missing.
And he's very concerned.
And the last time that she was seen alive, she was coming to the castle with Jeffrey Combs.
But he's acting very professional about it, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm. It's just, you're the last person who saw her alive, to which Susan is not happy to find out.
Yeah, she's like, you brought a fucking hooker into our castle?
Like, immediately just... You fucked a hooker while we were up here in the castle.
And he's like, but I didn't kill her. Like, she's missing. But like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, I fucked her, but I think he goes, I was lonely.
Yeah,
it's like that's a justification.
Okay. And take her into your side of the castle.
Kept her on my side.
You don't even know about this room in the castle. Yeah. Or you would probably excavate all of that wine.
Yeah. You wouldn't let me go down there by myself.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, God.
But then, and then they have their fight, and he goes to see his lawyer.
Yes.
In town, and then that's
who seems like a mobster, pretty much.
Yeah, and kind of like an Italian. I imagine is what they were probably going for. The Italian lawyer is the Italian mobster. Blah, blah, blah.
But not a great guy. Not a great lawyer.
No,
not very loyal.
We get some exposition. We find out about the son of the prostitute and the relationship she has with the cop, and then Jeffrey Combs gets like a phone call or something, and then the lawyer blackmails him for whatever reason, and Jeffrey Combs is like, you're a bastard, and then the lawyer proceeds to go, oh, I'm a bastard? Well, here's something you didn't know, and tells Jeffrey Combs all about who his father was.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's how we find out how he got the castle in the first place, and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure the backstory was the Duchess married John Riley's dad, and then they had a son, and then John Riley abandoned her and the son to come to America. And she was so angry she wouldn't give him a divorce, and she had that power because she was the royalty. And then he had John Riley with a different woman, and the Duchess took Giorgio and locked him in the basement and turned him into Castle Freak. And now Giorgio is actually John Riley's brother.
Yeah, exactly.
And so your big reveal.
Big fucking reveal.
Big reveal.
Fucking, I don't know exactly when, but he goes to look at Giorgio's, I think it's right after that. He goes to look at Giorgio's tomb again.
Well, yeah,
he fucking cracks it open because he kind of has a little more. So he's like, okay, Giorgio.
He gets back to his house, and then his wife is like packing up to leave, and then he's like, no, I didn't do it, you gotta stay. And they go to leave, and the police show up, and they're there to arrest him, and he just books it downstairs to prove that he's innocent by showing that the coffin's empty.
Yeah.
And then everyone ends up down there, and as he's like breaking open the tomb with this 5-year-old boy supposedly in it. Yeah. And everyone's like, what are you doing? And this is horrible. And then he's like, no, I'm not crazy. There's nothing in here.
There's nothing in the coffin. Like, this guy's still alive. He's in the castle. You have to search the castle.
He's actually, there's someone in the castle.
Yeah.
My daughter's not crazy. I'm telling the truth.
And it's this big flip-flop from like, please search the castle. And then they're like, they want to search the castle later because of the prostitute who's missing.
Yeah.
And then he's not going to let them search the castle. And then immediately after that, he's like, search the castle. There's something in here. It's Giorgio.
Yeah. He's still alive. He didn't die 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're crazy. And then they turn around, and in Giorgio's cell, they find the dead hooker, and they find the dead housekeeper maid, who we've kind of glazed over what happened there. And I think that might be a time to rewind a little bit and talk about what Castle Freak's been up to while all this other stuff was going on.
Yeah.
So after the police show up, we finally get to see what happened to the hooker, and she's locked up in Castle Freak's room, and Castle Freak has tied her up, and she's not dead.
It's a great shot. What they do is literally like, it's another favorite part. It's really good how they do it.
Yeah.
'Cause they pan down over her, and her eyes are closed, and you kind of think like she might be dead, you know? They pan down, and you see like Castle Freak there, and then they pan back up, and she's like, her eyes are open, and she's like concerned, looking at like fucking Castle Freak, or like looking around the room, like where she is. And it's like so awesome.
That was the best shot.
It's a great shot.
Yeah. It was a great use of a pan. She looks dead, and then the next, like, it pans down, and then it comes back up, and the next one, she's like, her eyes are wide open, her head's looking the other way, and she's terrified.
Yeah.
And and it's right after he's touched her, and it was the best shot in the whole movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was so good.
Yeah.
That shot alone.
Yeah, that was an awesome shot. Like, great reveal. And then the rest of that scene was horrifying, but great. Because Castle Freak proceeds to eat her out, like he saw John Riley do.
He's mimicking like the actions that he saw with John Riley.
But it like kisses her neck but bites her instead of kisses her, and then moves down to her nipples and starts to lick them, and then literally bites off her entire nipple. And it's one of the nastiest things I've ever seen. Just like rips it right out of
it looks
mouth.
Pretty good.
It's realistic.
They did pretty well, which is not great to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing, actually.
Yeah, and he's just kind of taking chunks off of her body.
But he moves on down and starts doing the same thing to her pussy and then her womanly area.
And then you kind of see he's also like wrapped in this bed sheet that you assume that he kind of got from maybe Rebecca's room. You're not exactly sure. He just wrapped in cloth. He looked great in that cloth. I loved how he looked.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like
half over his face. It's like the Elephant Man.
He reminds me like exactly like that. But I kept on seeing like that. What is that Guillermo del Toro movie with the guy with the
Pan's
hands?
Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
It's like the guy with the eyes on his hands almost.
Yeah.
If he was like wrapped, like swaddled, because he has those big long fingers too.
Yeah, I can see that. And he's got those long nails that come out. Yeah.
Not as like extravagant or fantastical.
Yeah, it's not as like he looks
But
more
still,
human.
it just kind of like reminded me of that, and I was like, that looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I agree with you that I like the design of Castle Freak. Yeah. I think that the way he looks...
When he's covered, it's much better than his caveman sort of
look. When he's covered, he looks better, because we soon see what he's like uncovered in the scene. She like rips the clothes off of him, and then we see the... my God.
His missing dick.
Yeah.
Literally just a stump.
It's
and
just
his
gone.
Balls. You see his balls.
But it's just like it looks like it's been ripped off.
Again, Optic Nerve did a great job. Looks pretty good.
You know, there's a whole subculture of people who talk about, like, who have theorized what happened to Castle Freak's dick. And there's this, it was...
Really?
Yeah.
You found this?
Yeah, it's a trivia thing I found. But, there's this whole story that, like, fans said that he ripped off his ding dong, and it was called I think it's like the ding dong rip off plot or something. It's literally like it's like something with ding dong, and it's got a name, but it's like that he ripped off his ding dong, and that in that they like they were supposed to have filmed it or something, and that was like canon, that he like ripped off his own dick. And then the director in like 2013 has come out and said on a podcast, like, no, that's not what happened. That's not the story behind it.
Oh my God.
You might try to discredit it, but it's like an actual, like, the subculture of people put time into thinking about, like,
we're cool with that.
Yeah.
We'll take that one.
Why is this?
Let's build that one up.
Yeah.
But we made the joke that it was the sausage from the beginning. That she was feeding
him his own dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. I like that theory.
Yeah, I do too.
That's the horrors of Castle Freak, you know?
Yeah. Oh God, there's so many questions I have about Castle Freak after seeing that, and like how shit works. But like, I mean, he kind of stands outside of reason. He's been locked in a cell, supposedly chained up for 40 years, and he's like superhuman strong. There was no fantasy-based explanation why he would have even been able to survive. He was supposedly just a little boy that got tortured
neglected
for 40
child.
years. Yeah, like not even neglected, like actively abused.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is honestly some of the most fucked up, like subtext, not even subtext, but like literally context you could come up with. Like, Jesus Christ. It's dark. That's dark shit.
It is.
That's heavy. That's heavy shit that they just go, let's just keep keep moving.
Let's praise over that. That's just the plot.
Yeah, that's not what's important with this movie.
Watch Castle Freak rape and eat this girl. And then she's like still alive.
He doesn't have a dick, you can't rape her.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was it gets graphic. If you don't have a stomach for that, don't watch this movie. This scene alone will make you sick if you don't like gore. But then eventually, after we cut out of this scene, after he's like, all of this nasty shit's been revealed, and then we come back with the maid accidentally wandering in looking for, I don't know what she was looking for. At the time, she's looking for somebody, but then she wanders into the room and sees the prostitute, and you think the prostitute's dead again. She's covered in blood. Her nipple's gone.
Her eyes are open.
Yeah, she's just staring. And then she's like, the maid goes up and is like touching her and checking on her, and then you see that the prostitute is still alive, despite everything, for at least a few more moments. Mm-hmm. And then Castle Freak shows up behind the maid and picks up his chain or whip or whatever it is and just beats her head in. Just fucking kills her.
Yeah, pretty brutal.
Yeah, and then it cuts out, and then when we finally get to see them again, it's when the police are there and they find the dead bodies after Jeffrey Combs has had this massive freak out.
Yeah.
And he's screaming, "That's Giorgio. He did that. That wasn't me." And they're like, obviously, like, you're insane.
You're an insane person.
And you've murdered my lover.
Dead boy is still alive in the castle.
Yeah.
And the policeman is very mad because that is his baby mama.
My baby mama. And the maid, who was friends with there were other people in that room that were relatively important to the maid. Her brother, that's what it was. Yeah. I forget. Oh, he's the lawyer. That's what it was. The lawyer.
So the lawyer's immediately pissed. Not his lawyer anymore.
Not going to be
very hostile towards him.
Yeah. And they take him in.
Take him in.
And then Susan's standing there going, I don't know what the fuck to think.
All right, so Jeffrey comes. John Riley has been taken in to the police station.
He's there. He's away from his family, who have been told by the police that they are not to leave like they originally planned. So they now are stuck in the castle with Castle Freak, and they've been left with 2 guards to protect them until the police figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And they interrogate John and then they're going to take their statements in the morning. I think that's what the setup of this final piece of the movie is. And from the rest of the movie, I'm pretty sure it gets pretty violent, and it's pretty much nonstop because there's 2 police left guarding Susan.
2 very, very Italian.
Mario and Luigi. Yeah, that's what we called them as we watched it. Anyways, there was one shorter fat guy and one taller skinny guy, and they look like Mario and Luigi.
Yeah. As cops.
Yeah.
Defenders of the castle. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they don't beat Bowser in this movie though.
Yeah, Bowser definitely beats them.
Yeah, the Mario games would be much different if they turned out like what happens to this Mario and Luigi. Because pretty much so the Susan and the daughter need a glass of water.
Susan and like a server.
He looked like he's been doing that a lot longer than he's been a cop.
He's treating them very nicely.
Yeah,
he's good for Luigi.
Oh Luigi. Yeah. And then he walks underneath. I don't know what it is, like a dumbbell shaft or
it's like an oven or something. I don't know exactly what it is. There's a there's a chimney,
and there's a chain hanging down, and he gets too close to it, and guess what? It's Castle Freak. It's Castle Freak and Castle Freak.
It's Castle Freak.
Ooh.
Castle Freak fucking chokes his ass out.
Oh, chokes his ass out. I would imagine severing his head because he pulls him up and blood just starts pouring down.
Yeah.
And then, which from what I understand was all the guts for the rest of the film, like any of the brain matter you see and like any of that shit was all real brain matter and like was like actual gore.
Yeah.
Which
People
is crazy.
Who were brain donors for H.P. Lovecraft films, specifically.
Yeah, for this H.P. Lovecraft film. So Luigi's dead. And then time passes.
I'm going to donate my organs to film.
Yes, here's your license. Now, before we hand it to you, we have to ask, are you going to be an organ donor or a film organ donor?
I'd like my brain to be used on the next Blade Runner.
I need my stomach to be in the next Hellraiser movie, please.
Please. It's my lifelong dream.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be in a Hellraiser film.
Please credit my stomach. That's the thing.
Yeah, you got to get credit.
You get credit.
Yeah, if you opt into the film organ donation system, you will get film credit. You will be famous for a minute.
Yeah, that's your reward.
Yeah,
for helping us out.
Yeah, for making movies more realistic.
Very nice. I think it's gonna be a thing.
Oh, it'll be on all of our movies. All the movies that we will never make.
Yeah. All the dreams that we have. But okay, well, got some brain matter, some real shit.
Yeah. And Luigi doesn't come back, obviously.
They're like, hey, where the fuck's the water?
Yeah.
Mario's like, god damn it.
Yeah,
like,
goddamn Italian, I knew he'd
he's like,
leave
I'm
me.
sitting down.
Yeah, he really
Are you
was.
gonna get up?
I'm not moving.
Yeah. He has to.
So then
He
Mario goes to check on to get their water, and then Susan goes back in the room. She's like talking to Rebecca, like, we're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm pretty sure in this scene she also reminds the daughter that she's blind. I think there's another reminder. I'm pretty sure she says, the daughter says, "Oh, I'm thirsty," and the mom's like, "They're looking for water." Okay?
Yeah.
Something like that happens. But then you cut back to Mario. Mario gets killed in a very similar... Oh no, he walks in and Castle Freak's laying under the sheet on the floor, and then he walks up to it, and then it just literally bites his fucking face off. Yeah.
And Castle Freak goes under a sheet a couple times. There's one time when Jeffrey Combs is looking for him, going through that room.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
You think it's Castle Freak under this
like
under
sheet.
this sheet,
But the whole room's covered in sheet, and it looks like furniture.
But it looks like furniture, but you're like, that looks like it could be Castle Freak. But you're like, that's not.
It just looks like an awkward
because
chair.
it looks too funny. Like it totally.
It's just a bad chair.
Yeah.
And then the next shot, Jeffrey Combs walks out of the room, and then he just stands up out of like it was the Castle Freak. It wasn't a bad chair. And oh my god,
it's so funny. I loved that so much.
Yeah, it was the best. That was earlier in the film. I completely forgot about that scene.
Oh, was that earlier?
It might have been.
I thought it was during this whole like
chasing.
Because what Scooby Doo moment in Castle Freak.
Like
people exchanging rooms in a castle.
Yeah, and they're just running away from people in rooms.
Could have changed the music, and it would be very.
It would be like Scooby Doo. Yeah. Well, we didn't mention John Riley. While all of this is happening with Mario and Luigi, is in the police precinct or whatever, and then he gets into he angers the police officer that was with the hooker, and then
he says I what does he say? I didn't blah blah. I fucked her. He says
we didn't make love. I fucked her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
good man.
Which causes the police officer to strike him, and then his buddies carry him out of the room, and then Jeffrey Combs gets up, grabs a police baton, and decides to fight
all the
his way
police
out.
have left.
Yeah,
the room.
he's leaving.
And he's, all right, cool.
He lets himself out and then knocks out the guy who hit him in the face earlier as that guy tries to walk back in the room, and then he gets out a window and runs back to the castle, I guess. Like, they don't really show you.
Yeah. They're very close. It's a small Italian town.
Yeah, he's the next time we see him, he's in the castle. And at this point, Castle Freak has killed Mario and Luigi, broken into Susan and Rebecca's room.
Chasing them around.
He's chasing them around, and they've been running through the whole castle, getting away from him, and this is where the movie kind of turns into Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And
all the camera angles are placed so you can see the lack of genitalia for Castle Freak, or or his asshole,
or his small butt.
Yeah, as he's running upstairs, or running towards them, or
like this actor.
Yeah.
I hope he was a very pleasant man on set.
A lot of low angle dick hanging shots, but there's no dick hanging.
There's a lot of great jokes to be had in that kind of attire. So I really hope they had a really good time on set.
Yeah, it took them 6 hours to put that makeup on him every day.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like a lot of work for that movie.
I hope they filmed 3 days. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. So that all happens. Jeffrey Combs shows up. They all run out to the roof. Jeffrey Combs gets into a fight with Castle Freak. Seemingly gets defeated, and then Castle Freak's about to kill Susan and Rebecca, and then Jeffrey Combs, lo and behold, isn't dead quite yet, grabs the chain, jumps off the roof, which he'd been contemplating doing earlier.
Yeah.
And then pulls Castle Freak down with him, and they're both laying on the ground, dying or dead. At which then immediately Susan and Rebecca teleport down. They're downstairs with Jeffrey Combs.
From the massive castle. They got all the way down there.
Yeah, and he's still alive, but barely. And he tells Rebecca that he's sorry and he loves her, and she says she forgives him, and she loves him, which I don't think is quite earned,
or even characteristic of her.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it is death.
I get maybe.
It's also a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole movie, she's had pretty good reason and been pretty strong feelings about not liking him anymore.
And wishing he was dead.
And the last real interaction they had was just a whole slew of just onslaught of horrible news for her. He's had an affair while she's in the house. He's maybe murdered brutally the hooker that he had the affair with, and the maid. He's losing his mind and screaming. And then the next time she sees him, he's pulling this monster off the roof and dying.
Believing in ghosts.
Yeah. There's no reason for her to forgive him.
No. He's like, oh, he's a crazy man dying.
Yeah.
But
it's
Castle Freak was real, at least.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong about that.
Yeah. Tough life.
Yeah. And then the film has a nice little ending with them carrying the coffin out of the car.
Yeah.
While they're loading their luggage.
The women also dressed very well for a funeral.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Carrying
stylistic
suitcases.
shit. Carrying suitcases. So like having the funeral procession down the ramp of the castle, like the driveway of the castle, and loading up the body, and they're also packing their bags to just leave the castle.
Yeah,
at the same time. Same exact time.
There's no way that they could wait to load the car or have the funeral. It had to happen all at once.
Yeah. And how much shit did they move into that castle? Nothing at all, really.
They've been there for 2 days. Not even.
Yeah.
And they were there, they brought what only they could bring in a car.
And what is the rest of the Riley family's life like? You know, what was it like before?
What's it going to be like now?
You know,
the patriarch's dead. He killed the son. He blinded the daughter. Now all that's left is a blind daughter and a horribly emotionally disturbed mother after everything that's happened.
The kid had it the best.
Yeah, he got out early.
Yeah.
He got out of that shit show real fast.
For sure. Jesus.
It ends on a shot of the police officer with the daughter and then the woman's face. Just it was a very serious ending for the movie that it was. It was definitely taking itself seriously.
Mm-hmm. Castle Freak, you almost think at the beginning of the film that maybe the film is going to be about the blind girl. This is what I thought, because you're like, okay, she's blind, he's a freak. Maybe there's going to be sort of a, kind of her feeling his,
and falling in love with it's like a Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast,
but
or
she's blind.
Maybe not even falling in love, but just understanding him.
Yeah,
more so.
accepting him and
but
integrating
when he gets out,
into...
he's just a fucking freaky sexual murderer.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I thought I was gonna feel compassion for Castle Freak. Not at all.
Yeah, this isn't the Elephant Man.
Nope.
It makes you think for a minute it's going to be something like the Elephant Man, and then it's nothing like the Elephant Man, which I think we knew going into it, based on Stuart Gordon's other work and the inclusion of H.P. Lovecraft's name.
Does get very murdery.
Yeah, rapey, murdery, gory. It's a lot of things. A lot of things. It's not subtle.
No.
No. But it's fun, it's entertaining.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. This film is great. I honestly kind of want to watch it, maybe in another couple months or so.
Maybe later this month. Maybe with more people.
Go back, yeah, for sure. With a bigger audience of friends that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be fun to watch. Because we had a good time. We had a good time watching it. We were laughing and
definitely watch it. If you listen to this whole podcast and you haven't watched that movie, then that's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird.
You probably won't even want to listen to this after you watch the movie. So
I don't know why you're listening.
You don't even know what
now.
we're talking about. This isn't even the entertaining part.
I don't know if we did a very good job
bringing you through it if you've never seen the movie before. I mean, I don't know. I think we did a thorough job. We definitely hit all the beats.
We relived this movie verbally now.
Yeah. Man, it was a good time.
It was a great time.
It's fucking hilarious.
We'll do this almost every time. If you like this style, if you want to hear a movie being recounted to you with some observations thrown in.
Yeah, from us.
If
you like us, me, him.
You don't have to like me.
You have to like us, but I won't read the comments.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you and your opinions. I don't care if you listen to this or not.
Yeah, our names are on it, so.
Yeah, fuck you. I don't know what we're watching next week. I think we've discussed In the Mouth of Madness, right?
Yeah, I think we should do it.
I think we should too. A nice palate cleanser. We'll do a good horror movie and a bad horror movie.
Both H.P. Lovecraft.
Both funny and crazy. I've seen In the Mouth of Madness before.
I have not.
So I know what we're getting into. And to an extent, I haven't watched it with anybody, and it's been a little while since I've seen it. So it'll be a fun little refresher.
Hell yes.
And then we'll hopefully have some more great things for you guys to come.
Yeah, we're gonna have hopefully
Some guests.
some famous friends of ours come on the show.
Believe it or not, the us two schmucks have some friends who have you might have heard of.
Yeah, climb the social ladder.
Yeah.
And they're up there.
And they've got some good opinions and some good observations and some things you might want to hear.
Yeah, they'll be bringing the attainment to the table. You know.
Yeah, because we're not entertaining.
We're gonna have some segments and things as well. We're trying to figure it out.
Oh yeah.
It'll be a good time.
This is evolving. Evolve with us. Like, come grow with us. We're coming of age, people. We're coming of age.
Come grow with us. That's the tagline.
Come grow with us. All right. Well, that was fun, and I think I'm gonna give Castle Freak 5 out of 7 stars.
Fuck you.
Yeah, 5 out of 7.
I think 5 out of 7 is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's very entertaining. Plot is kind of weird in the way that you're like, oh, this is ridiculous, and like also like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, no, this doesn't make any fucking sense, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
which is great.
it's the best. It's honestly what I want out of like
the overacting in pretty much every character except for the Italians is great.
I couldn't tell if the Italians were overacting or not.
Yeah, because you can't really understand what they're saying.
Yeah,
Probably the biggest complaint in the movie, just not
understanding.
not understanding what people are saying on screen some of the time.
Yeah, I wish I could have known, but we'll never know.
We'll never know.
I don't give
We'll
a
never
shit.
know. We don't give a shit. It's fine. Hey, thanks for listening. Hope you had a good time. We'll see you next week, maybe bi-weekly. We're gonna figure it out. All right.
We're coming of age.
Yeah. You chums have a good day. Okay.
Bye.